Welcome to part 2 of trying to make a combined automatic farm in Minecraft. If you haven't checked out last episode, be sure to do so. Last time, we started off by building a combination iron farm and villager trading hall, tried to build a separate string farm, made an automatic potato farm, and spent way too long trying to make an auto honeycomb farm. Today, we're going to pick up where we left off with the potato dispenser. If you can recall, the purpose of the potato dispenser is to drop off the potatoes in a potato cooker. But in order to make the cooker, we need a fuel source. The only fuel source that can be harvested and ready to use without any crafting in between is bamboo. So in order to make the potato cooker, I first have to make an automatic bamboo farm. I have no prior experience making a bamboo farm. However, I have made an auto kelp farm in the past, and the two farms are essentially the same thing. Just a bunch of pistons connected to observers with a hopper minecart underneath. The hopper minecart will pick up the bamboo and send it through the hoppers underneath into the smoker. The small farm I made worked, but it would provide nowhere near enough bamboo to cook all of the potatoes being produced by the farm, so I decided to make a second level with an automatic dispenser dropping off the bamboo from the second level to the lower minecart for it to pick up. I thought that this expansion would provide enough bamboo to cook the potatoes. While building the upper level, I heard the lower pistons fire, meaning that some of the bamboo had already been harvested and sent to the smoker. But when I checked the smoker, I was confused to only find 2 potatoes had been cooked. At first, I thought that some of that bamboo had gotten stuck in the hopper system. What I didn't know is that bamboo is a terrible fuel source. It takes 4 bamboo to cook one item, which isn't a problem if you have a large bamboo farm, but mine wasn't big enough. What's worse is, if the number of bamboo that's harvested isn't divisible by 4, bamboo can simply go to waste partially cooking a potato, only for the progress to be reset once the fuel runs out. In order to solve this problem, I did 2 things. Firstly, I made it so that the bamboo wouldn't be put into the smoker until 23 bamboo was stored in the final hopper. At first, I used a comparator to detect when there was 23 or more bamboo in the final hopper, and then extended that signal long enough for all the bamboo to be transferred to the smoker. However, this was unsuccessful, so I resorted to making a hopper clock system. Here's how the final system works. Once there is 23 or more bamboo in the hopper, the signal of the comparator will increase in strength by 1, activating a hopper clock that moves another hopper to take the contents of the final hopper and place them into the smoker. Secondly, I increased the size of both the bottom and top levels of the bamboo farm so any harvest would be significantly larger. It was easier to expand horizontally, as I didn't have to add any more observers, as the growth of the first few plants would trigger the harvest of all of them on that level. With this complete, I added a chest underneath the smoker to store all of the baked potatoes, and moved on to the next task. The next task has to do with boosting the production of potatoes using bone meal. If this were Java Edition, I could simply drop bone meal for the farmer to use, but since we can't do this on Bedrock Edition, I have to make a dispenser system to automatically fertilize specific plants. In order to make the bone meal, I have to make some other auto crop farms to get material to automatically compost. Sugarcane provides a decent chance of increasing the level of compost, so I decided to make an automatic sugarcane farm similar to the bamboo farm. I would have just made another bamboo farm if bamboo was compostable, but unfortunately it is not. I also made another automatic dispenser with an item elevator to bring the harvested sugarcane up to the potato farm so it can be turned into bone meal and dispensed onto the potatoes. I also made a hopper minecart system that puts the bone meal into a somewhat random dispenser. By this point, the sugarcane had only grown by 1 level, so I decided to also make an auto pumpkin farm for extra compostable material. But again, I forgot exactly how to make one, so I went back to the old realm to look at my example. With the process clarified, I hooked up the observers, the pistons, and added a rail for the hopper minecart underneath. Unfortunately, the pumpkin farm was essentially the same speed as the sugarcane farm. Luckily, there was another source of compostable materials I made already, besides the potato farm. It was the poppies from the iron farm. All I had to do was transfer the poppies to the item elevator, so I made an item filter under the iron farm chest in order to only take the poppies out of the chest, not the string or iron. Then I made another item elevator so that the poppies were at the same level as the pre-existing item elevator, and an automatic dispenser to put them into the elevator. While I was making the second item elevator, I was lucky enough to catch a pumpkin being harvested. The pumpkin goes up in the item elevator, and into the composter, where it is eventually turned into bone meal. Once I finished the second item elevator, the poppies took a similar path to the pumpkin. Up the second item elevator, then transferred to the first. Then up the first, then into the composter. By this point, the sugarcane hadn't grown 3 blocks tall, so I still had time to actually wire up the farm and see the sugarcane finally be composted. As a celebration for creating this monstrosity, I decided to take cinematic shots of the entire farm. So that's it for this episode. We have a villager trading hall, an iron farm, a potato farm, a bamboo farm, a potato cooker, a pumpkin farm, a sugarcane farm, and a honeycomb farm, and they're all automatic and feed into or are fed into by at least one other farm. If you need proof, here's a little diagram I made for my Instagram. It's crude, but it gets the job done. Every gray background indicates a farm, so if multiple items are in the same gray background, they're part of the same farm. Also, every line indicates a connection. If you guys have any suggestions on other farms that I could add to this combination farm, let me know in the comments. I already have a few ideas of other farms that I could possibly add. For example, we can make a witch farm, and use the bottles that the witches drop to also farm with bottled honey. So if you guys enjoyed, leave a like, leave a comment, maybe even subscribe, and if this video gets enough attention, I'll make more episodes of this where I try to add on as many farms as theoretically possible.